If you walked into your local corner shop in 1985, you'd find drinks that literally don't exist anymore. Not rebranded, not reformulated, gone. Erased from existence like they never happened. The luminous green Quatro that tasted like the future. The Panda Pops that cost 5 pence and turned your tongue blue. The Corona man who delivered fizzy drinks to your door like a carbonated milkman. Here's what nobody talks about. These drinks didn't just fail. Number 3 had us voluntarily burning our tongues for fun. Number 9 had Pamela Anderson's curves moulded into the bottle. And number 1? Number 1 can never ever be forgotten. These are 15 British drinks that vanished from corner shops. And number 7 was destroyed by its own parent company. Those of us who remember when corner shops had character, when 50 pence made you rich, when choosing your fizzy drink was a tribal declaration, this one's for you. Number 15. Tab Clear, the Kamikaze Cola. February 1993. Woolworths, the drinks aisle. A silver can catches your eye. Tab Clear. The 8th wonder of the world, the adverts promised. A cola that looked like lemonade. 23 pence for something that would last precisely 5 months on British shelves. Remember that first sip, that medicinal hit, like Coke that had given up on life. The way it fizzed differently, smaller bubbles, sharper on the tongue. But here's the shocking truth. Coca-Cola never wanted you to know. Tab Clear was designed to fail. They called it a kamikaze product internally. Its only purpose? To damage Crystal Pepsi by association, to make all clear colas seem wrong. Those of us who convinced our parents to buy it, usually just once, we were unknowing participants in one of the dirtiest corporate warfare tactics of the 1990s. By autumn 1993, both clear colas had vanished from British shops. Mission accomplished. What they took from us wasn't just a weird drink. They took away the idea that cola could be anything other than brown, that experimentation could succeed. But Tab Clear was sophisticated compared to what's coming at number 14. This next one trained an entire generation how to pretend to be adults. Number 14, Shandy Bass. That distinctive white can with the red triangle. The sweet, bitter taste that was neither lemonade nor beer, but something more complex. Something that marked a transition. Shandy Bass. For 46 years, from 1972 to 2018, this was how British teenagers learned what beer might taste like. Just 0.5% alcohol, legally sellable to children, but psychologically it was so much more. 25 pence in 1985 would get you that can from the corner shop. The gentleman behind the counter wouldn't even question it. Your dad might even buy it for you, a father-son moment over something that felt grown up, but wasn't. If you were northern working class and born between 1970 and 1990, you know exactly what Shandy Bass meant. Summer holidays in Skegness, non-league football on Saturday afternoons, that first taste of independence. When Britvic killed it in 2018, they didn't just discontinue a drink, they ended a rite of passage. Today's teenagers will never know that perfect halfway house between childhood and adulthood. The craft beer revolution made pre-mixed shandy seem unsophisticated, but we knew better, didn't we? But while we were pretending to be grown-ups with Shandy Bass, the Americans had a different idea. What if children could drink their sweets? Number 13, Hubba Bubba Soda, liquid bubble gum. Toys R Us, your special Saturday trip for being good all week. There it was. Shocking pink liquid in a can covered with bubble graphics. Hubba Bubba Soda. 40 pence for the privilege of drinking liquid bubble gum. Actually drinking it. The same flavour as the gum you'd blow bubbles with until your jaw ached. The first sip was always a shock. It tasted exactly like liquefied bubble gum. Not bubble gum flavoured, not hints of bubble gum. It was as if someone had melted down a whole packet of Hubba Bubba and carbonated it. The Americans lasted 4 years with this madness. We, British? We never quite knew what to make of it. Too American, too artificial, too much. But those of us who tried it, we remember, some called it liquid diabetes, others the most amazing drink ever created. There was no middle ground with Hubba Bubba Soda. When it vanished in 1992, nobody really mourned it. But now, Those empty cans sell for £30 on eBay. Funny how memory works, isn't it? Speaking of memory, number 12 will transport you straight back to Saturday morning cinema. And yes, that advert is exactly as problematic as you remember. Number 12, Kia Ora, too orangey for crows. We all adore a Kia Ora. If that jingle just played in your head, in that specific voice with that specific tune, congratulations. You're properly British and properly of a certain age, 116 years. That's how long Kia Ora existed, from 1903 to 2019. But for us, it was the 1980s that mattered. Those clear plastic cartons at the cinema, 30 pence for orange so bright it could guide ships to shore. The way you'd puncture the silver foil with that tiny straw. The first hit of sweetness, so intense it made your molars ache. The way it left an orange film on your tongue that lasted through the entire film. But it was that advert, too orangey for crows, that burned into our collective consciousness. Those animated crows with their catchphrase. Looking back now, those adverts were, let's just say, they were very much of their time. Different era, different standards. Peter Kay referenced it in Phoenix Nights. That's how deep Kia Ora ran in British culture. Deeper than Coca-Cola ever could, when Coca-Cola confirmed via Twitter, that they discontinued it in 2019, a part of British cinema history died. The multiplex experience will never smell quite the same. But these discontinued drinks, they're just the beginning, because what's coming next proves we'll literally drink anything if the advertising's good enough. Number 11, Cresta. It's frothy man! Picture this, a polar bear in sunglasses shouting Rimsky-Korsakov. If that makes perfect sense to you, then you remember Cresta. Launched in the early 1970s by Schweppes, Cresta wasn't just fizzy, it was frothy, actually frothy. The first versions contained real milk, which caused absolute chaos in production. Imagine milk in a fizzy drink in the 1970s, before proper refrigeration in corner shops. The bear, voiced by the same Canadian who did the Honey Monster, made drinking Cresta seem like the coolest thing possible. It's frothy, man, became playground currency. But here's what nobody talks about. Cresta was awful, genuinely terrible. Even 40 years later, when YouTube personality Ashens found an old bottle and tried it, he nearly threw up. The strawberry tasted like sweetened paint stripper. The pineapple could strip wallpaper. We drank it because a cartoon bear told us to. We begged our mums for it because advertising worked. And when it disappeared in the early 1990s, nobody actually missed the taste. What we missed was believing a bear in sunglasses could make us cool. Speaking of trying to be cool, number 10 was literally designed to make children feel like adults. Number 10, Top Deck, playing at grown-ups. If you were a British teenager in the 1980s, working class, probably northern, you'll know exactly what I'm about to describe. Top Deck, the shandy that wasn't. Silver cans that cost 35 pence from the offie. The taste of beer without the alcohol. The drink that made you feel 18 when you were 12. That first sip. Sweeter than real shandy. Less complex than actual beer, but somehow exactly right for that moment in your life. You drink it at the youth club disco, at the social club with your dad, outside the chip shop on Friday nights. Top Deck occupied this bizarre space in British culture. Too adult for children's parties, too childish for pubs. It existed in that liminal space of British adolescence. Comprehensive school discos, first kisses behind the bike sheds, nascent independence. When Britvic quietly discontinued it after buying Corona in 1987, they killed something unique. There's literally nothing like it now. Alcohol-free beer is for adults. Soft drinks are for children. That bridge between worlds? Gone. Those silver cans taught us how to pretend to be grown up. But some drinks didn't just want to help us pretend. Number 9 wanted to start an actual revolution. Number 9, Virgin Cola, the Rebellion. We're at number 9 of 15 vanished drinks. And this one? This one we actually had a chance with. 1994. Richard Branson drives a tank through Times Square. Pamela Anderson's curves, moulded into a bottle shape. Virgin Cola taking on the big boys. For a brief shining moment, we actually did it. Virgin Cola outsold both Coke and Pepsi in British supermarkets. 65 pence a bottle for the chance to support the underdog. The cola appeared on Friends, on Buffy. Little old Britain was teaching America about choice. It tasted fine. Maybe slightly sweeter than Coke, maybe slightly flatter, but that wasn't the point, was it? Every sip felt like supporting your local team against Manchester United. Every purchase was choosing David over Goliath, but Coca-Cola doesn't lose. They never lose. Systematic retaliation, exclusive retailer deals that locked Virgin out, aggressive pricing that made Virgin Cola unprofitable. By 2009, those PAMI bottles were being cleared from ASDA for 25 pence each. Branson's billions couldn't beat Big Cola. The last Virgin Cola production ended in Bangladesh in 2014. Even the British underdog story gets outsourced in the end. Those PAMI bottles sell for £50 on eBay now. We're literally buying back our failed dreams, one overpriced bottle at a time. We're halfway through our countdown, and you've probably noticed something. These aren't just drinks that failed, these are drinks that were murdered. But number 8? Number 8 was loved to death by the very people trying to protect us from it. Number 8, Panda Pops. Democratic Fizz. 5 pence, that's all. 5 pence in 1985 for a Panda Pop from the corner shop. The most democratic drink in British history. No child was too poor for a Panda Pop. That tiny plastic bottle with the panda face, filled with liquid that existed in colours nature never intended. Blue cola, green cherryade, red something. The way the plastic bottle would go soft in your hand from the warmth. The pathetic little fizz when you opened it. More suggestion than reality. The immediate sugar hit that could power you through double maths. The inevitable tongue staining that marked you as a Panda Pop kid. School discos weren't school discos without warm Panda Pops on trestle tables. 10 pence each because the PTA needed fundraising. Your mum giving you 50 pence and telling you that covered entry and 5 drinks. Budget management training via fizzy drinks. They created a Princess Diana memorial flavour. Think about that. They memorialised the people's princess in budget fizzy drink form. You couldn't make it up. Jamie Oliver killed Panda Pops. Not personally, but his crusade against childhood obesity made them unsustainable. 2011. After 35 years, despite generating nearly £3 million in their final year, a 2020 Scottish Sun poll voted Panda Pops the drink people most wanted back, because nostalgia doesn't care about your teeth. Number 7. Quatro, the future that never was number 7. This is the one that was murdered by its own parent company. Coca-Cola creates something luminous green. So green, it glowed under blacklights. So green, parents thought it was radioactive. Gone by 1989. Quatro. 4 fruits, 4 coloured squares on the can. Marketed like we were living in Blade Runner, and Coca-Cola killed it on purpose. The colour was supernatural, kryptonite green, toxic waste green. The kind of green that made parents suspicious. It contained pineapple, orange, passion fruit and grapefruit, but it tasted like none of them, and all of them simultaneously. But here's what you actually wanted: the electronic Quatro cards, given away in Smash Hits magazine. High-tech collectibles when ATMs were still space age. Those cards were playground currency. They were power. Quatro failed because lilt existed. Simple as that. Why drink radioactive-looking tropical when normal tropical was right there? Coca-Cola pulled it after 7 years, but those who drank it still describe it in almost mystical terms. Tropical paradise, some say. Fruity, washing up liquid, say others. The South Americans got a completely different grapefruit Quatro in 1996. We got memories of green liquid and electronic cards. I know which I'd rather have. Right? If you're still watching, you're proper British. You get it? These next 5 drinks, they're not just beverages, they're the death of British culture itself. And I'm not being dramatic. Number 6. 5 Alive, the healthy lie. Mums, remember this? That royal blue carton that made you feel like you were giving your kids something healthy. 5 Alive. 5 citrus fruits. Orange, lemon, grapefruit, tangerine, and lime. Arrived in 1981, seemed so sophisticated. The 250 milliliter cartons, perfect for lunchboxes. 30 pence from the school canteen. It was basically liquid sugar with vitamin C. But in 1985, that counted as healthy. No fizz meant it was good for you, right? That first taste, aggressively citrus, tongue-curlingly sharp, then suddenly sweet. The way it coated your mouth with this slightly synthetic citrus film. The carton straw that always bent at the worst angle. Coca-Cola killed their own child. 1994, they launch Fruitopia. Cooler name, psychedelic marketing, same market. 5 Alive never stood a chance against its own sibling. 2011, they tried to bring it back with a Dancing Dodo campaign. A dancing dodo for an extinct drink. You can't make this stuff up. Now it's £40 for a case from Canadian importers. £40 for the memory of when fruit juice came in cartons. And we believed everything with fruit in it was healthy. But if 5 Alive was pretending to be healthy, number 5 didn't even try to hide its madness. Number 5, Tizer Ice. The menthol mistake. A G-bar puts menthol in a soft drink. Actual menthol, like cigarettes but for children. Tizer Ice. Clear red liquid that made your mouth cold, regardless of temperature. Freeze your head, the adverts promised. They weren't lying. That first sip was genuinely shocking. The menthol hit your sinuses first, then your throat. It was like drinking Vicks Vapor Rub mixed with Cherryade. Your mouth went numb. Your throat felt frozen. It was medicinal and recreational simultaneously. This was peak cool Britannia madness. The Spice Girls were conquering America. Tony Blair was playing guitar, and we were drinking mentholated soft drinks because why not? No drink in British history divided opinion more sharply. You either loved that Arctic blast, or you thought AG Bar had lost their minds. No middle ground, no casual drinkers. You were Team Tizer Ice or you were wrong. 3 years. That's all it lasted. 1998 to 2001. The exact lifespan of our national confidence. When Tizer Ice died, so did the idea that British drinks companies could out-weird the Americans. The next 4 drinks? They weren't just products. They were entire cultures that vanished with them. Number 4. Creamola Foam. Scotland's secret weapon. If you're Scottish, you're already salivating. If you're not, you're about to learn why Scotland nearly declared independence over a tin of crystals. Creamola Foam. Effervescent crystals in a small metal tin. Mix with water, watch it foam up like a witch's potion. Drink the result. Experience paradise. The ritual was everything. The tss as you opened the tin. The smell. Artificial fruit so intense it cleared your sinuses. Pouring the crystals, watching them dance in water. That first sip of foam, actually foam, that tickled your nose and burned your throat simultaneously. We ate it dry, straight from the tin. Pour crystals on your tongue and feel them explode. Chemical burns be damned. This was living. 15 pence a tin in 1985. Raspberry, orange, lemon, cola. The tins had cartoon children that looked possessed. We loved them. 1998. Nestlé kills Creamola Foam. The Scottish Parliament, the actual Scottish Parliament, debates motions to bring it back. That's how deep this ran in Scottish culture. 2019. Someone recreates it. £4.49 per tin now. We're paying 30 times the original price for the memory of burning our tongues. And it's worth every penny. But at least you can still buy Creamola Foam. Number 3, this entire way of life is gone forever. Number 3, Corona. The fallen empire. 200 red and gold vans every morning across 87 depots nationwide. The Corona man was coming. This wasn't just delivery, this was relationship. The Corona man knew your mum wanted dandelion and burdock. Your dad liked limeade. You were allowed one Cherryade on Saturdays if you'd been good. Those knobby glass bottles, the satisfying clink as he carried the crate. The 3 pence deposit that taught us recycling before it had a name. The anticipation as you heard his van 3 streets away. Every bubble's past its physical. Even typing it, I can hear the jingle. 70 million bottles a year in the 1940s. A Welsh company from Porth Rhondda that conquered Britain door by door. This was community retail. This was trust. This was British. 1987. Britvic buys Corona, closes the Porth factory, ends door-to-door delivery. By the late 1990s, Corona exists only in memory. We lost more than a drink. We lost the last connection between corporation and community. The Corona man was the final bridge between us and them. Now it's all supermarkets and self-checkout. Progress, they called it. But while Corona died quietly, number 2 left us with something we'll never forget. In fact, you already know it better than Mozart. Number 2, Um Bongo, the Congo connection. Way down deep in the middle of the Congo, a hippo took an apricot, a guava, and a mango. 32% of Britons can recall that jingle. Only 20% remember Mozart. Um Bongo wasn't a drink, it was a phenomenon. 9 tropical fruits in a 200 milliliter carton. Perfect for lunch boxes. Sold in 5 packs for the school week. Your entire week's hydration sorted for under £2. That first puncture of the carton. The immediate smell of artificial tropical paradise. The way it turned your tongue orange for hours. The strange pulpy bits that definitely weren't real fruit, but you pretended they were. New regulations force reformulation. They remove the artificial flavouring that made it magic. 2017, parent company dissolves. Bongo seems dead. Iceland brings it back exclusively, but it's not the same. It can't be. The chemicals that made our childhood are illegal now. That jingle still plays in our heads. The hippo and python still dance. But the drink they're selling, that's not Bongo. That's just tropical juice in nostalgic packaging. We're buying memories, not beverages, which brings us to number 1, and I need to warn you, this one hurts. Number 1, Lucozade. When medicine became marketing. The number 1 vanished drink wasn't killed by competition or health regulations. It was murdered by its own success. That glass bottle wrapped in yellow cellophane, the one your mum only bought when you were properly poorly. Lucozade. For 90 years, from 1927 to 2017, this was British medicine that didn't come from a pharmacy. You knew you were properly ill when you saw that yellow wrapping appear on your bedside table, the heavy glass bottle, the way the cellophane crinkled when Mum unwrapped it, that first sip, sweet, slightly syrupy, somehow exactly what your poorly throat needed. It tasted of being looked after. Lucozade wasn't a drink. It was love in a bottle. It was your mum's hand on your forehead. It was permission to stay off school. It was daytime telly and toast cut into soldiers. It was being poorly but safe. The smell alone, that distinctive medicinal sweetness. Nothing else smelled like Lucozade. It smelled like recovery, like care, like someone worrying about you enough to go to the shops, specially. Then everything changed. 1983, Daley Thompson. Suddenly, Lucozade wasn't for poorly people. It was for athletes. The yellow cellophane disappeared, the glass bottles became plastic. The medicine became an energy drink. They replaced glucose with artificial sweeteners. They added caffeine. They created Lucozade Sport, Lucozade Energy, Lucozade Zero. They turned our childhood medicine into just another energy drink fighting for gym goers' pocket money. The original Lucozade, the poorly drink, the love drink, the medicine that wasn't medicine, that's gone. You can buy something called Lucozade Original, but it's not. It's not wrapped in yellow cellophane. It doesn't come in glass. It doesn't taste of being 7 years old with tonsillitis while your mum strokes your hair. They took the drink that meant someone cares about you and turned it into push yourself harder. They took love and turned it into marketing. That's what we really lost. Not just 15 drinks. We lost the idea that companies could care, that products could mean more than profit, that a bottle of glucose syrup could be a hug from your mum when you needed it most. So here's my question for you. Which one did I miss? Which discontinued drink still haunts your memories? Drop it in the comments below. Share this with someone who will remember. Because if we don't keep these memories alive, who will?